Tonight on the WDW Fan Zone show, we've got a lot of news, annual passes, park information, and other things in and around and about Walt Disney World. And then we're going to get into the topic of the night, which is, will there be a fifth park? Will gaps be filled in at the other Disney parks? But we know a lot of money is going to be spent at Walt Disney World over the next 10 years. And we're going to get into the news in just a moment. I first want to mention Mouse Fan Travel. They're an unbelievable travel planner. You know, we've all used them here because guess what? Nobody beats their customer service, their experience, their expertise. So if it's Walt Disney World, Disneyland, Adventures by Disney, Disney Cruise, whatever you want to do, wherever you want to go, it can even be a non-Disney vacation. They've got you covered every step of the way. Great deals are going on right now at www.mousefantravel.com. That's www.mousefantravel.com. Now, one thing I want to mention before we get into things, I'm not going to get involved in a lot of this. It's just someone had suggested to Ron DeSantis that maybe he should build a prison near Walt Disney World. Well, first of all, Disney is miles and miles long. So if a prison does go up, it's not going to be so close to Walt Disney World. It's only really going to affect the people that live in that community.
Which is sad.
Yeah, but I heard they might even want to name it Ron DeSantis World. Yeah, that was a joke for anyone listening. So I just wanted to bring that up for anybody who's really worrying about that. Right now, it's just political posturing on both sides. You know, the two of them being DeSantis and I really need to sit down, talk things through, just get things done. They're not going to agree on certain things, and they know that. Stop playing these political games, you know, and just do what's best for the tourists that come to Florida, that spend their money here, and the residents of Florida.
Right. And you know, those tourists don't just go to Walt Disney World. They go to Universal, SeaWorld. Yep. They go to the Gulf Coast, the East Coast beaches.
They spend money at the retail.
Or Kennedy Space Center. You know, they go everywhere.
Yep. They're dining out. They're spending money at, and I'll just, you know, exactly. Walmart, Target, places like that.
Yeah. You got that whole strip of 192 with all the restaurants that they go to.
Yep.
I mean,
you know, yeah. And something that if those who are against what Disney has done and is doing, just keep this in mind. Disney will always outsmart whoever tries to come up against them. I don't care how brilliant you think your idea is on what you're going to do. They will always outsmart you. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying it's just, if you think of A, they're already on B, C, D, E, and F. They're way ahead of you. All right. So let's get into the news and let's go over to Jess with all the news, and we'll do. Oh, wait, first, hold on. Sorry. Jess is here. Darlene Nagy's here. Kurt is here. And I am Stuart Sternberg. And this is the debacle we call the WDW Fan Zone show. All right. Take it away, Jess.
All right. Hello, everybody. So if you are looking to get an annual pass, a new annual pass, the sales have resumed today as of the date of this recording, which is Thursday, April 20th. And I just wanted to let you know, I tested it out. I went in the queue and I, for research, just because I am already an annual pass holder, it showed that my wait time was more than an hour. And it said that it does not, being in the queue does not guarantee you a pass. They could end it at any time. And that was at the time of the show's recording. At the time Stuart posts the show, could be done. So, and this could all be moot at this point, but you can still check it out. There could be some annual passes available, but you might be waiting a long time. So that's just my disclaimer for that. Good luck. All right. There are 2-day summer deal tickets available for Typhoon Lagoon, and this is for Florida residents. So this applies from now until June 30th, and then they range from $64 to $69 a ticket. I believe it was $64 if you want to go before May 27th, and if you want to go after May 27th, that would be $69. So,
right. So an extra $5, you're getting an extra 30 days to use the tickets.
I'd say that's not too bad. And it's also, you don't have to use them on consecutive days. So if you want to, use one now and use one in June, $69 a ticket is not that bad of a deal, especially for 2 days. So I would say hop on that, Florida residents. That is very exciting. All right. So in other news, Disney is celebrating their halfway to Halloween celebration. I don't know if they've ever done this before, but man, they really like to hype up their Halloween at Disney. The Halloween party is going to be running from August 11th to November 1st. I feel like it's like a full 5 days earlier than last year too.
Yep.
So they extend Halloween. They love their Halloween and their fall decorations and everything, and they're even doing some Halloween things right now. So the tickets will be on sale for the general public starting May 2nd. And I feel like this is more for people who want to go on Halloween, because I have bought my tickets a lot later and I was still able to get in like some September dates. So if you are one of those, like, I need to be there on Halloween, you probably want to be one of those first people. And I would have to say your better bet is to have a Disney resort hotel on one of those on Halloween, because then you can go a couple days earlier on April 27th and purchase your ticket. So you would be among the first people if you have a Disney resort hotel reservation. So hop on that, get your hotel reservation now so that you can get your Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party tickets. Again, the party will run from August 11th to November 1st, and then the prices range from about $109. That's like the September, maybe some Tuesday dates, and then the most expensive is on Halloween, $199. And then kid prices from 9 and younger are about $10 cheaper. Usually there is a discount for annual pass holders and DVC members, so check that out, wait to see, and then when you purchase, make sure you check that you are an annual pass holder, and that would, or a DVC member, and that hopefully will give you a discount. Right now, because of the halfway to Halloween celebration, until Sunday, April 23rd, Haunted Mansion is having a little photo lens filter. There's 3 of them that you can choose from. They're really cute. There's like some like frames and you look old and dead and stuff like that. And Medusa was one of them. So that's on My Disney Experience. You should totally check that out. And that is part of your photo pass. If you're an annual pass holder, I believe that one is free for you. I'm not entirely sure for that.
I know you get certain lenses. I'm not sure which ones they are.
Some of the lenses are free, but if you have if you have Genie Plus, I knew it started with a G. I had the words in my head. If you have Genie Plus for the day, that is free for you, or in addition to your Genie Plus. So check that out, My Disney Experience app. And that is all from me today.
All right, thank you, Jess, and I'm glad you're feeling better this week.
Thank you. Me too.
All right, Darlene.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Tonight we got information a little bit more. If you visit the DisneyVacationClub.com, you will see the renderings of the new villas at Disneyland Hotel. And they're going to go, if you want to add on to your DVC points for that, you can look to do that on May 30th. So it's going to be really grand. They also talk about the different rooms they're going to have. They're going to have a duo studio, a deluxe studio, a 1 or 2 bedroom villa, a 3-bedroom grand villa. They're going to have a Steamboat Willie splash pool. And this resort is inspired by stories of the classic animated stories. So really looks cool and neat. Very modern too. But it's, with that little twist. Next up, I want to tell you guys about the remaining dates for the Disney Vacation Club members. There's still tickets available for Hollywood Studios events, May 3rd, 17th, 24th, 31st, June 7th, 14th, 21st, and 28th. The discounted tickets for Disney Vacation Club members is $119. That's down from $149. And then Epcot's dates are June 1st, 15th, 22nd, 29th, July 6th, 12th, 20th, 27th, August 3rd, 10th, 17th, 24th. Those are discounted at $99, down from $139. And that is all I have for today.
All right. Thank you, Darlene. Kurt, do you have any additional news for us? Kurt is new. Well, he's not new to the show. He's
We
combined the news show and the regular show together, so we're still trying to figure things out here.
This is kind of it's a big surprise, actually. Disney's announced they're actually they're replacing their wilderness cabins at Fort Wilderness with DVC cabins. So what they're proposing is they're going to be replacing those cabins with 350 newly designed cabins. They'll have there'll be a single bedroom, a bathroom, living room, full kitchen, and a private patio. Some will be dog friendly. They plan for this to be their 17 DVC resort. Pros and cons. Again, it's another DVC resort to try to book. Con, those previous wilderness cabins were considered a moderate resort. If they're replacing all of them, those things were like $450 and you could sleep 6. So it was a beautiful situation, beautiful environment, and I don't know if any of those will be left anymore or if they're just going to replace them all. They did say the campsite accommodations are still going to be available, and guests who are not DVC members will be able to stay at the cabins based off of availability. Might be a bit pricier now. They do look beautiful. There are pictures of them up on the internet now.
Oh, nice. All right. Thank you, Kurt. And I've got a little bit of news for you as well. Disney World announced that it would break ground next year on a planned affordable housing development in Central Florida, which will provide 1,400 housing units on 80 acres just a few miles from the Magic Kingdom. The first units are expected to be completed sometime in 2026. Those traveling from Orlando International, Mears Connect bus service from that airport to Walt Disney World has a spring and summer special going on right now with adult tickets costing $15 per adult and $12 per child. Disney Encanto, the sing-along film concert featuring the entire film with an on-stage band, will be touring 31 cities, and that begins on Thursday, July 21st in Concord, California, and it will end in Chicago, Illinois on Saturday, August 28th. Tickets go on sale to the general public this Friday, April 21st. The very much anticipated Disney movie Peter Pan and Wendy starring Jude Law premieres on April 28th on Disney+. And I've got a little more Disney Plus news. Spider-Man fans, it's being reported that on April 21st, several of the Spider-Man movies will be added to the streaming service. And that is all the news I have this week. Darlene, let's get those park hours for all those coming down.
Oh, goodness gracious. Okay. And that's exciting because that's tomorrow. So y'all have something to watch over the weekend. Speaking of that, park hours starting on Friday, April 21st through Thursday, April 27th. Magic Kingdom is going to be open Friday through Tuesday, 9 to 11 p.m. Friday through Tuesday. We switch our days, so I'm a little confused. And then Wednesday, we're going to have extended hours, 9 to 11, and then 11 to 1 a.m. And Thursday will be 9 to 11. Epcot will be 9 to 9 on Friday tomorrow. Saturday, they're going to have extended hours for deluxe resort guests from 9 to 9, then 9 to 11 p.m. And then Sunday through next Thursday will be 9 to 9. Hollywood Studios is going to change their hours. They're going to be 8:30 to 9:30 all week. Animal Kingdom, again, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 8 to 8, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 8 to 7. Typhoon Lagoon is going to be 10 to 6 p.m. And Boardwalk is 6:30 to 10 p.m. all week. Disney Springs, of course, this weekend is Friday and Saturday, 10 to 11:30, and Sunday through Thursday next week, 10 to 11 p.m.
All right. Thank you, Darlene. And if you want to prepare yourself for the weather this coming week or over the next 7 days, the forecast calls for daytime highs in the mid to upper 80s and nighttime temperatures in the upper 60s to low 70s. And as we get into next week, towards the end of the week, there will be a chance of showers. And one further note before we end the news portion of it, it was on this day in Disney history, 23 years ago to be exact, April 20th, 2000, at the site of Horizons Pavilion at Epcot, that then Disney World president, Disney World president, I was right, Al Weiss, along with Compaq CEO Michael Capellas, announced plans for a new Disney World attraction at that very site, and that was Mission Space. Yeah. Mission Space doesn't even, the easy version, what's that, the green? Doesn't even leave planet Earth. That, what kind of space adventure is that? But that's another story for another day. Yes, Jess?
I do have to say, my son, he's 5, he loves it because you go around and he loves to see the hurricane and stuff like that. So, I mean, it is really cool.
Okay.
I enjoy it too because I have vertigo, so I can't experience the other one.
To be better. Look, I wish they would put back the old version. If they're not going to do something new, I just don't like this new version.
But the other version is on the other side.
Yeah, we'll bring it back.
But that's the Vomit Comet side.
Yeah, I can't do the Vomit Comet side.
Right? No, neither can I.
Bring back the previous easy version, and if they can't do that, all right, fine.
It did have a little bit more excitement to it than the new version.
Yeah. All right, we're going to get into the regular portion of our show right now.
So I'm gonna peace out.
Okay. Thank you, Jess.
Bye, Jess.
See you real soon.
All right, take care. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. You too.
All right. So Lottie's not here tonight. John is on an adventure right now out at sea. Hopefully he'll be back in the next week or two. And hopefully Lottie will be back soon. She's traveling on business. So
I did forget something. If you're looking to move to Florida,
oh yeah, go ahead.
We have the greatest realtor for you to talk to at Dream. Oh my goodness, Disney at your doorstep. Victor Naraki is a great realtor, so he'll help you find someplace to live. So contact him.
Stuart, you're deaf.
You're muted.
You're muted.
I was saying Victor. I was saying Victor.
Either I'm deaf or you're muted. I'm sorry.
Victor's an awesome real estate agent. We've come across quite a few since we moved down here, and I don't think anybody pays attention to their clients and the details that need to go into a sale of a home more than Victor.
Right.
Good to hear.
Yeah. So Kurt, if you're ever going to move down here, that's the person you want, helping you or assisting
somebody else down there that's keeping me from moving down there right now.
He's only got he's got less than 4 more years left.
Well, according to Florida law, if he does decide to run for president, he can no longer be governor unless he gets his friends to change that law.
You know what? I don't want to get into politics or anything. I don't know if he's going to run for president. I think he wants to. I don't know if he will, though. He might hold off for another 4 years, but we'll see. We shall see. He is immensely popular in the state, which, it's for those who like him, great. Then what can I tell you? It's difficult times here. There are people that are allowing the leader of our state to get into a cultural war when people in the Fort Lauderdale area are underwater. And, where's the leadership there helping them?
That's my point.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, well, let's move on to bigger and better.
Moving on.
So last week at the, I don't know if it was the annual meeting, quarterly meeting, whatever it was. My brain is in a fog. But Bob Iger mentioned how he was going to invest, I think it was $17 billion in Walt Disney World over the next 10 years and hire 13,000 staff members or employees. And that started all the speculation. Well, if it's that much money going into Walt Disney World, not all of it can go in the parks because rides are expensive, but is it going to fill in gaps in the parks? Is it going to go for new resorts? Is it going to go for a fifth park? And the speculation is being fueled by the amount of money that he mentioned, as well as Epic Universe, which is coming to Universal, their third park. So it's just like that. It's feeding off of everything there. So while we don't like to get into speculation and rumors here, I thought it was worth discussing because we don't know what is going to happen. And like I said, it's just, you're not going to put in $17 billion into your existing parks alone. Where is that money going? Is it going for a fifth park? Is it going to be distributed evenly across? And let's get into that discussion. And, I'd love to know what you guys think.
Go ahead, Kurt.
I think they're going to start. I could see them doing that expansion in the Magic Kingdom that's getting floated around.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to begin there. Not sure if I like the idea of Frontierland being completely gone and then turning that into, I don't even remember what they called it. It was the Bayou area, New Orleans Square, like they have in Disneyland.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there will be a Frontierland. I do like the idea of how they're expanding Liberty Square a little bit and even expanding into like the Villains Land. I know we've talked about that before, how we thought it would be good. I'd like to see more about it. As far as a fifth park, I don't know if we're ready for a fifth park yet. I really don't know if we're ready for a fifth park. We already have someone was floating out there. Again, it was fake that Animal Kingdom was going to be closing. The stock is down a little bit. Hopefully it's not because of that. And it was all fake. It was fake. It was just, it's like reading The Onion, people. It's not real. You got to look at the source of where it's coming from. And honestly, again, the Animal Kingdom park isn't the most popular park. And I think that's going to make them a little bit shy about wanting to order a fifth park on top of it. Will that take away from the Animal Kingdom park that's there? Or how is that going to help with the other four parks?
Well, look, I'm not disagreeing or agreeing with you. Disney has so much land. The fifth park could be someplace we're not even thinking of.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's somewhere obviously on property. It's somewhere.
It's miles. The question is, there's miles there.
Right. But it's still on property. And again, people always joke around Animal Kingdom just being so far away from the other parks. My question is, if they do open a fifth park, we don't know because it's all speculation and it hasn't even really come up. It's just speculation. If they do open a fifth park, what will be the theme?
Right.
And how will that theme reflect with the other parks? Everyone says it's going to be a Marvel park, but Marvel's already in at least one, if not two other one park right now. But again, you can't have a Star Wars park. We already got one Star Wars park over there, which is in Hollywood Studios. So why expand in that situation when you can do an expansion in the parks that are there to help with the capacity issues that places like the Magic Kingdom are having. There's a lot of room. They're talking about doing that expansion. When you look at all that wooded area that's behind with the railroad and everything else that's in that area. So,
yeah. I'll give you my opinions and everything else shortly, but I want to hear what Darlene has to say and what her thoughts are on all this.
So I think where some of that money is going to probably hopefully be spent is in Disney's Hollywood Studios.
Yeah, we've talked about that too.
Yeah. We really need more to do there. We were done with that park within, I think, 3 hours when we were there. You know, we did the Mickey's Runaway Railway. We did Rise to the Resistance. We did Star Tours, which we were told Star Tours is going to be adding in different films and stuff, which is great. I mean, but we got on, and the movie we seen was a totally new one as it was. I've never seen that movie before, so that was great. I think expanding there and hopefully bringing in some of the vision that was seen in Epcot that got kaput and taken off the table. I'm hoping that they're going to put that stuff in.
Oh, darling, hold on a second. I just got something on my phone. Breaking: the prison that may be built near Disney World.
DeSantis land?
This is just in. It's going to require reservations. However, repeat offenders after 2 p.m. can go in without one. Sorry.
Oh, he's a riot and a half, isn't he, guys?
He's special.
Oh, yeah.
Not Stuart, Ronnie.
It's true. I'm hoping, transportation, that they open back up all of the carts. What are they called?
Trams?
Trams at all the parks for people. A friend of mine had a park at Epcot the one day. She was all the way in the back. And it took her like almost 20 minutes to walk to the back of the park, and to the front. It's not fun. They need to start using these trams again.
Yep, I agree. Completely agree. I don't know that. See, here's what throws me. I don't think they're going to build a fifth park right now. And when I say right now, I mean within the next 10 years. But here's what throws me. You're hiring 13,000. You're in the middle of laying off 7,000 people, but you're planning over the next 10 years at Disney World alone hiring 13,000 people. That tells me, and that's more than you need if you expand Magic Kingdom. So that tells me they're doing something bigger and broader and grander at Walt Disney World. So here's what I think could possibly happen. Go ahead, Kurt, before.
First, they have to wait until they get all the Imagineers that once they're laid off from Batuu, that I've now gone over and worked at, they're working Universal right now, building this third park. They have to wait till that gets done so they can bring them all back to the Magic Kingdom or to Walt Disney World itself to be working over here again. And that's why we're starting to see some stuff at Universal that looks as good as the stuff at Disney, because they're just going back and forth.
Right,
it's the same artists, which is great because then we all get great stuff. But continue.
Yeah, so what I think we may see is an expansion of Magic Kingdom, more attractions, maybe an expansion at Hollywood Studios. You see what I think? Remember when they had the Backlot Express there? That was a 2.5, 3 hour tour.
Yeah.
You took
People
that away.
can't take it anymore.
Right. You took that away. And when you took that away, where do you go now?
Right.
And there aren't that many attractions there. So
a quarter of the park is empty.
Yep. So they've got to do something there. And I think that's where some of the money is going to go to expand that.
I agree.
And maybe you'll see a Marvel section there. Maybe you won't. Maybe they'll spread out Marvel between the parks rather than just have a Marvel land like they do with Star Wars land. I don't think we're going to see a Marvel land. I don't think we're going to see a Marvel park either. You don't have a Pixar park. You don't have a Muppets park. Yeah.
No.
Well, we have a
Or
Muppets Bride.
You do.
Marvel also, admittedly, the last 3 movies that have come out have not done very well.
Right. That's true.
I don't know where you go with that, but
comic book movies are cyclical. They have a run,
Right.
they do very well, and then you need 10 to 20 years to let it go by before you bring them back again. That goes with other things as well. But I think you're going to see some money put into DVC resorts. Maybe we'll see another family-style resort go up. I don't know. Non-DVC.
And if I'm here for Lottie, I'm here for Lottie right now. Some nice size family suites to
they're
house.
liking there.
Yeah,
a moderate family resort that would handle 5 to 6 people in your family.
Yes.
Yep.
Nice suites.
I think you're going to see more things done at Epcot, even though they're redoing the front part of the park and breaking it up into different lands. I think maybe you'll see something happen in World Showcase. Maybe not. I think that's the park that needs it the least. I think Animal Kingdom needs some things done there. And I think they're aware of that.
I think so.
And I think they're working on that. And I think that's where some of the money's going to go. Maybe it'll go for infrastructure, because remember, Disney World is getting to be a bit on the old side and things are breaking down more often than not. But again, that's where I'm a little thrown by 13,000 employees over the next 10 years. That's more than just a park.
Is that, think about it though, they just said 13,000 employees. They didn't say full-time employees.
No, they didn't.
That could be part-time. They do like their part-time employees because then they don't have to give them insurance.
That's right.
And they don't have to pay them a full-time salary that you would expect.
True too. Yep. All true. I think we're going to see, I think the most major expansion they can do, and you guys probably will disagree with me, I think it's Hollywood Studios. As much as they've done there, I think it needs a lot more because we need more attractions there.
Oh, I think so
The park
too.
that needs it the most, I think, is Magic Kingdom.
I think the problem with, and I agree, we need something more, because to pay $130, I'm guessing, even $119, $130 to go into that park when you really are done by 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and then you got to come back for Fantasmic. It's really it's lacking a lot now. Again, that whole area where they used to do the films, it's gone. There's nothing in there. Especially now that they've taken, I mean, there's no Playhouse Disney anymore. The Little Mermaid is gone. Everything with animation that then became that Star Wars gallery area, none of that is open and being used at all right now.
Yeah. Yep.
So they've got to do something back there. I know those are their office buildings back there, but I wonder how much of those buildings they're actually using.
I know. It's you're right. I don't know how much of it they're using.
Besides that area, where are you going to expand to, though? They built their Star Cruiser where they could have expanded.
Yeah.
So right now, we were talking park tickets. If you buy a 1-day ticket, they start from $109. And as you add on, if you're going to be here, those tickets can go, break down to like your 5-day, you get them $99 for,
Right. It depends on when you're going. Right.
It depends on when you're going. But, some of them are like 114. Instead of going down, they went up for 1 to 4 days. And we were talking about that. If you stay 8 days, you can get them for $70 a day, which is great, And these are regular tickets, not Florida resident tickets that I'm talking about.
Right.
But, and like you guys said, one of the big things at Hollywood Studios right now is Rock and Roller Coaster is still closed. They haven't done anything.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a lot of theme changing that's going to have to be done there. So, and we still don't know what group's going in there.
Well, or is it going to be Harrison? We don't know. They haven't said. They haven't said they're leaving, but they haven't said they're staying
They've been
either.
talking about them changing that out and updating it with a new group for a long time.
Yeah.
Like 10 years. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's always on the back burner about what are you going to
that's
get rid of
why
and look at some new one.
I would
think
be
they're
surprised
working
if
on
it's not Aerosmith, but I wouldn't be shocked if it were not.
The problem is, it's no matter what band you put in there, it's yes, you can get some good songs out of them, but things are so they just keep flipping over so quickly now.
Yeah.
These bands.
What would be really kind of neat if they would do is do like a kaleidoscope of through the years, different groups.
But and you got to do something. I mean, they could do something where they're rotating the songs in and out,
Yeah,
like they do on
Guardians.
Cosmic Rewind.
Yeah,
Right. That would be cool.
Mhm.
I don't know. I just hope they don't use Shake It Off, because I really don't want that feeling when I'm going upside down. Just saying. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Yeah, it's, but you're discussing things that they're working on, things that need to be changed, things that are going to take time and money. And I think if Disney, yes, 17 billion would build a new park. Maybe.
I don't know, because think about it.
I said maybe.
But 2 cost $1 billion. There's 2 attractions for $1 billion.
Yeah, but you have 17 billion to build. That's a park. Maybe.
So 17 billion.
Again, I say maybe.
Maybe 17 billion. How far does that get? I mean, everything you got to build with that. You got to worry about. You got to run the electrical. You've got to do the plumbing. You've got to do the shelters. I mean, everything. The groundskeeping. That 17 billion doesn't go as far as
you said it would. That 2 cost $1 billion. That was pre-COVID. I'll bet you right now,
right?
If you built that now, you're probably looking at a 50% increase, maybe more.
So 1.5 billion again. That's what I was saying. As you were saying, it's like 17 billion does not go as far as we would like it to go.
It sounds like it's a lot. It sounds like it could build a 5th park, and it could, but would it be adequate? And I don't think it would be. I don't think 17 billion is enough.
We just talked about if you're adding that Coco Landish area, whatever, if that's going to be the Frontierland area, and the land with the villains land, that could be 3 billion of it right there if they're going to do that. So there's 3 billion. Now you're down.
Well, let's say they
14 billion.
Let's say they give each of the 4 parks $4 billion to do what they want, and they save $1 billion for other things on property. That's 17 billion right there.
They could expand transportation. That would cost $1 billion. Yeah, and they'd raise the ticket prices or the hotel prices for everyone. Right.
You expand the monorail line, maybe, or the.
They'll do the Skyliner. I don't think the maintenance on the Skyliner is easy to take care of than the maintenance on the monorail.
Yep, and right now Disney is very cost effective right now.
Right. So, and that's the great thing about the monorail. And when you get right down to it, it's like a people mover. In. The monorail, if one goes down, that whole line is down.
Right.
So
I was on the monorail. God, I'm trying to think. It was less than a year, but it's more than 6 months ago. And it stopped in the middle between stations. I was just trying to get from the Magic Kingdom to the transportation center, get into my car and go home. And it stopped. And we had to wait there. It was about 40 minutes, I want to say, until we moved again. And they kept saying congestion. It wasn't congestion. I think it was a broken down monorail. Because you don't wait for 40 minutes with congestion. That hasn't happened since. But I don't want it to happen again.
Right.
And the Skyliner, you're right. It's like a people mover. Boom, boom, boom. In, off. Yeah.
Sorry if you saw that. I just had a spider fall right in front of my face.
Wow.
So just stay calm with that. It's now sitting down in my garbage can. So.
There once was a spider who said...
Yeah, he's sitting in the garbage can right now, enjoying crumbs.
Good. Let him enjoy the crumbs. Spiders are good.
Yeah, you stay there. Don't come out. Watch the movies. They're coming out soon. Transportation will help a lot. Again, remember, Florida requires 3 months of training for a bus.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not going to increase the bus service very much. They're just trying to maintain bus service. If they want to expand that transportation and make us happier, again, you do have the issue with that transportation. If it's high winds or a nasty thunderstorm, they will stop the Skyliner.
They will.
And disembark everyone. But what are you going to do? Build more canals and add more boats?
Yeah, I know that's not happening either.
No.
They're going to do the most cost-effective way they can get things done to please the people and their board of directors, who we know right now are thinking dollars over, everything else. So, it's a for-profit organization. They're looking to make a profit. So we might wish and want all these wonderful things at Walt Disney World that, or that they have, but maybe more of it. And they're saying, like, put the brakes on.
As a Disney stockholder, we have not seen a dividend in 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, that's true.
So when we start hearing about these, we're going to give this person a raise or this person a raise, not the actual work. I'm not talking about the general workers in Magic Kingdom. Yeah, they could use a couple dollar raise. I'm talking about those higher up people that are making this money, millions and millions of dollars. And we haven't seen any stock dividend in years.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what they're worried about right now, because people are starting to mumble.
Sometimes companies, there's the old saying, like with banks, there are certain banks that are so big, they're too big to fail. Sometimes companies get too big to succeed. By succeed, I don't mean that the company's not a success. They are. But it gets to the point where things become counterproductive between different departments, different areas of the company, and one doesn't know what the other one is doing, and things get to be repetitive and things don't progress. Nobody's willing to take a stand and say, okay, let's do this, because you have to get so many authorizations to get something done. Red tape is another way to put it.
That's why there's a 7,000 person hiring or firing coming up. There's too much red tape. They're trying to thin it out right now.
Yeah, and they kind of have. And they have to give. I'm glad the first thing Iger did when he came in was give creative back to creative. I was thrilled to see that.
Yeah,
and that was a good first step.
that was.
But they've got to figure out if they're too big. And when I say if they're too big, they've got to look at their other businesses. We know the parks are doing very well. We know the streaming service is a priority. Here's the problem with the streaming service, and it's not Disney. There are so many new streaming services and existing streaming services out there that are trying to get a piece of that pie, when you have the inflation that we have here. And I don't want to hear anybody tell me there's no inflation. You're not looking in the right place. We're it's the average working person and retirees are under a lot of stress because of the inflation.
Right.
So there's less of their pocketbook to take money out of to get certain things. And people are going to make decisions. Do I want to keep Disney Plus? Do I want to keep Netflix? Do I want to get Paramount or Peacock? And there are more.
We have all of the above.
MGM, right, you have MGM Plus now, and it goes on and on and on and on.
MGM Plus.
Yeah, MGM Plus.
I didn't hear about
Epic. It used to be Epic. Now it's MGM Plus.
Oh, okay.
You have AMC.
Oh,
Disney,
yeah.
Or Discovery Max.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Discovery. Right. Yeah, I'm still confused with that. It's going to be called Max, but
Max instead of HBO.
Yeah. But there's so much to choose from, and people are relying less, unless you're a sports fan, are relying less and less on live TV.
Right.
And now even with that, NASCAR is in their latest television rights, and that's one of the things that they're looking at. Actually, is not only is it on regular TV, not only is it on the cable channels, but you're also looking at what they're looking for starting in 2025 yet they know there's going to be streaming rights. So are the streaming rights going to be exclusive? Amazon proved that you can make a profit. They were averaging about 11,000 or 11 million viewers. 11,000 would be a failure. About 11 million viewers for their Thursday Night Football, which was close to what they were receiving on broadcast TV. So at least made it look like it was a success. And something like that, well, everyone has Amazon because you use it for the door-to-door service for buying stuff. So that's the way the televisions are going. Eventually, it's going to go away from, local news. I don't know how we're going to get the local news if we got rid of cable. I've got to be honest.
That's another problem too. It's these regional channels, and that's your local news channels. Or local news network, the networks that carry your local news. They're demanding more and more money for cable companies and streaming services to carry their service, which is why we're seeing prices increase so much each year. And you're right, it has to give somewhere. Something else to keep in mind. Well, if you look at, I'm just going to use the Disney Channel that you find on cable and streaming service as an example. I think it was 2021, they had over 1 million viewers per day. It's less than 1 million now. And that's happening with all children's networks that are carried on streaming services and cable services. Those are not profitable. They're going to go away because the viewership on those channels is going down and down and down. And how many does Disney own? They've got quite a few.
At least 3 that I know of.
Yeah. I remember finding a way to watch PBS. Remember, it used to have like Bob Vila and Sesame Street,
Electric Company,
all that. I did find a way to watch it.
Well, the app is free for PBS. You can just add it to your Roku or whatever device.
Right, which is nice, And that a lot of people are going to that because these streaming services are getting to be too much. Look at Drew Barrymore just went on Pluto, and she's doing live stuff, and she was promoting it.
The Roku channel, Tubi is another one. They're adding new. When I say new shows, they're adding things that are not just repeats that they're taking from old shows and putting them on. They're starting to add new content. That's what I was looking for.
But Darlene wants to know where she can watch her Lawrence Welk. She watched Lawrence Welk there. She needs her champagne bubble dance.
I do need my champagne bubbles.
Yeah. So anyway, the point I was trying to make with Disney is that they own a lot that they could get rid of.
Right.
And it's their dead weight, like ABC.
ESPN.
Dead weight.
A lot of there's going to be a lot of people caught, a lot of executives at ESPN, according to an article.
Yeah, it's like that's a decision they have to make too. Do they sell ESPN or do they keep it and build it up? I think Hulu's one that I think that's a no-brainer. I know Geiger said they're exploring all possibilities, and I think Hulu, and especially Hulu Live, I don't think they need to be in that business. I think it's wasting too much of their resources. I think they should stick to the movies, Disney Plus, and what they're doing there, and the parks. But you know what? Bob Iger's the one who's got the education and the brains to know all this, not me.
I know.
I've
noticed that they have removed some of the movies from Disney Plus that were on there.
But I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that's a good.
They rotate them.
Yeah, they rotate them. Yeah,
I think they should.
They don't have an unlimited file space. They have them all on at the same time.
Right.
I want to be able to miss something and not be able to see it. So when it does come back, I can't wait to see it.
I mean, there's some things that have to stick around for a while, but they can't have I'm sorry, they don't need the Star Wars Christmas show on 24/7, 365. Oh God, I don't even know if I couldn't watch all of it. I couldn't even make 10 minutes into it last time I tried to watch it.
Yeah.
It's there. You needed to see it at least once, or at least attempt to see it. If you missed it, hopefully it'll come back next Christmas, but it doesn't need to be on there right now.
You know, I remember several years ago, I was working at one of the banks I worked at. They were going into a different industry, and they were going into the lease service industry, and they were talking about it at one of our meetings, how I was going to make all this money. And I know myself and a bunch of others, who were not what you would call upper management, were like, whose idea was this, and how did they buy into it? Because it's not going to make any money. And sure enough, it flopped.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes, it's like, if you're not familiar with the business you're going into, don't go into it.
Don't go into it.
And I think, and I'm not saying that's where Disney went. I just think Disney decided to keep, I think buying the rights to Star Wars was the right move. Buying the Muppets was good. Pixar was good. Marvel was good. But I think when you get into overexpanding your reach to the point where you can't handle it because your infrastructure of employees isn't able to deal with it the way you need, get out of it. Just get out of it. I don't know if I explained that well, but
they're spreading themselves too thin. They spread themselves too thin in a few situations. Just let it, as Elsa says, let it go.
You can hire the brightest people in the world to do certain things for you and delegate the authority to get those things done. But when you're that big, by time it reaches the top or bottom, things are so spread out that it's just bound to fail.
That's why we don't have animation at Disney Hollywood Studios anymore.
Yeah, I know.
There were too many people. There were too many people saying, you need this, and they would test something, and they would be sent out to California, and they would come back saying, change it to this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, change it. We just changed it from that. Why are we changing it back to that?
I could tell you firsthand, because I work someplace where this happened all the time. It was delegation by when I say delegation by committee, you couldn't approve anything to get done without a million different people approving it. And that's where I think Disney is right now. So by the time things get done and everybody agrees to what needs to get done, it's not what it was meant to be. And that's where a lot of companies, not just Disney, get in trouble. And I think if they want to become, how do I put this? If they want to become the Disney we remember, I think they do need to. I'm trying to choose my words carefully here. I think they need to go back to basics. I think they have to look at what Walt and Roy were doing with the company and grow it along those lines, which goes back to what I said before. The movies, the animation, and the parks are your strength. This started out as a movie and animation company.
Mm-hmm.
Keep that. Let that be your strength, and let that funnel into the parks and build the parks up, and use Disney Plus to get there, because that is the technology that we're all using now, streaming, wave of the future, till something new comes along.
I'm wondering, 17 billion we think should go a long way, but let's think about this. We started hearing
we've kind of figured out it won't.
Well, yeah. When you're looking at like Tiana's Bayou Adventure, the story is starting to morph differently. I don't know if anyone else noticed that.
I have noticed that.
It's starting to morph because everyone's like, what the heck is it? Where's the movie? It's not here. Now all of a sudden we hear Mama Odie is going to be part of the movie, or part of it. Mama Odie was never mentioned before. So if that was supposed to be a surprise coming in, it's like, no, they needed, or was it a surprise, or was it just, okay, we've gotten too far away, we've gotten past the actual movie, and everyone doesn't want that. Everyone wants the movie itself. So now here's Mama Odie. So it's storylines from a long time ago versus storylines they're starting to add in now are starting to change, and I wonder how much of the original story will still be there when they finally get there. How much money was spent that now is being changed? Same thing happened with New Tomorrowland. When New Tomorrowland opened, they announced that, and everyone was all excited about it. And I went, I've not seen it. I talked to my kids about it, and they're like, "Well, what are we going to do?"
Yep.
Because it was
It's
the
all
Princess
princesses.
Fairy. It was the Fairyland. It was the princesses.
Mhm.
There was nothing there at all that was really attractive to a little boy. It was all towards like little girls.
Yep.
Because
Right.
the fairies and everything else was all aimed towards the girls.
And they had to change it.
A lot of the shows that were on that the boys liked at that time, they weren't owned by Disney.
That's
I mean,
right.
think about it. How many years have we watched The Wiggles? The Wiggles never made it into a Disney park anywhere.
No.
They went to other parks. But so I wonder how much some things are going to change before it even comes off the board. When I saw when I heard what the Mary Poppins attraction was going to be, and then saw it was basically an indoors theme cup attraction over there, it really turned me off. I could see why it got benched. They need to, if they want to do a good attraction, do something better than just we wondered what can you put in that little space, teacups, and that was about it. It just sometimes an idea just to make someone happy, that doesn't make it a good idea.
You know what? Let me see if I can get this right. You can't be all things to all the people all the time, but you have to be some of the things to all the people most of the time.
And some of their ideas kind of floundered a little bit. And I wondered how it got watered down to where it got watered down. And now they're like, okay, this isn't working.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see. Disney usually doesn't make that many mistakes, but
Original California Adventure.
that was a different regime.
That was $1 billion fix.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. But they're really not at Disney World. They rarely make mistakes. There was that Stitch thing they did that was outdoors in the heat and the sun beating down on people that lasted one day. Okay, that was in Tomorrowland.
Yeah.
That was a mistake. But think of other mistakes they've made. There aren't that many that they haven't corrected in
Correct.
time.
They still haven't corrected. You brought up Stitch. When they got rid of Alien Encounter because it was too scary for the little kids, and they put Stitch in instead. Basically, the whole reason why they put Alien Encounter in there was to attract the teen crowd. Yeah. They put in Stitch, and the teen crowd went away, and the little kids were still scared. And that awful smell of the corn dog or the chili dog.
You're right, chili dog.
So now you've got 2 empty spaces that are just not being used, including, of all things, how they don't have a what you call it, the right next to it, the gift shop. There's an empty gift shop right there. How does Disney not have a gift shop open?
Yeah, you brought up something good, and I want to mention something before I forget my thought, which I probably did. What they've been doing lately is they're taking attractions that are closed and using the existing footprint to create something new without changing the layout and the structure, not the structure, but the mechanisms that fueled the previous attraction. They're trying to redo it with what's there, or reimagine it. They got to stop doing that. I know it's cheaper. I know it's cost effective, but it doesn't work most of the time.
That footprint, they can't touch. You've got the Wedway People Mover going above it. You've got the ice cream and the other Mickey Star Traders going below it.
All right, maybe I was wrong.
On the other side.
I'm talking about the interior of it.
The whole interior could be trashed out. Yeah, they could gut the interior.
And they should, but that's not what they've been doing. They've been, look at what they're doing where Splash Mountain was. They're keeping it and just changing.
Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin is the exact same layout that was if you had wings. It's the exact same layout. You're on the
Yep.
same path. It's
And
not
that's
a
something
bad
they
thing necessarily in that one.
that's something I think they need to take another look at, and that worked. But
Oh yeah,
but not every attraction that they do that way does work. Stitch will not work, or Alien Adventure will not work unless they change what's in the interior and put something completely different in there. Now, what that is, I don't know. I'll leave that to the Imagineers.
let's go back and do Mission to Mars again.
But you know how important the
Shake us.
You know what they need to do is they need to switch out all those guns and stuff in Buzz Lightyear because they don't work.
Yeah, that's true too.
So
they don't
maybe
work
they're going to
well.
do some more fixing too. I mean,
That could
of
be
attractions
Yeah.
that need it.
the
I
guns at
think that's-
Disneyland are the blasters at Disneyland
Yeah.
are for when you can hold them freely are much easier to use and they're much
Than those,
more
yeah.
user friendly than this one because
Yeah.
you darn well better believe when I'm going head to head against my 22-year-old son, I'm
Right.
aiming that car so I can hit that target that I want to hit, not so he can hit it.
Right.
And that's part of the strategy there. But if you could have that come off and have it just be an individual one, the problem with it is the way the cables are in there. If the kids yank on them too hard, they break the cables, and then that gun is completely broken as well. So they got to find a happy medium somewhere in there of how they can do that.
Getting back to what the main topic of the show was tonight.
But this is part of the main topic, though.
I
Using
know,
the money to do
I
that.
agree with you. I do agree with you. But I think what we're going to see are things that we've discussed here. I don't think we're going to see a fifth park. I think we're going to see things fixed, corrected, and new things done within the existing parks. I think we'll see expansion of Magic Kingdom. I think we'll see gaps filled in Hollywood Studios. I think you're right, Kurt. I think unless they decide to knock down the Galactic or Star Cruiser, you're not going to see an expansion. I don't know where they can expand there.
They just got that one little plot area where it was the animation courtyard.
Yep. Animal Kingdom has a big enough footprint within its walls to do things to make it more of a full day park than expanding out. But they might. We don't know. Epcot, I think Epcot need as much as they've done there, and they've done a lot. And I'm not, and we know what's coming in the front of the park. I still think they need to do more there. I think the Imagination Pavilion. Come on. If there's one pavilion there that needs an overhaul, that's it. Mission Space. I think it could be much better than it is, and we discussed that earlier during the news.
Yeah, Figment deserves better than what he's got.
Figment does deserve better.
And if you get rid of Figment, you're gonna really upset a lot of people of all ages.
Yeah.
As for Mission Space, hey, how many times now have they switched up Star Tours? It's not that hard to do. You can change it up. You can fix the graphics.
Yep.
You can replace the screens that you're looking at in front of you. You can fix all of those things now. You just have to take the time to do it and invest in it. I think part of the problem is, has it reached a point where do we replace everything, or is there still a popularity for the attraction? That I don't know. So because when you see the long lines a lot of times is for the orange. It's like a 5-minute wait for the green. But the green it's horrible right now.
It is.
Unless you're 5.
Now, your Bob Iger, your decision. Do you get rid of the green and do something completely different there, or do you bring back the previous version or enhance the previous version to something better?
Enhance.
I'd enhance.
Yeah.
You can shut down half of an attraction. You can shut down the green, work on it, and then shut down the orange and work on that.
Yep.
There's no reason why you could. There's no reason why at nighttime you can't reprogram that. And then, you pop one card out, you put the other card back in so that it's being programmed at one time, and then You pop the other one back in for during the day until that other one is ready.
Completely agree with you. And guess what? Mission Space is going nowhere, and you know why? Space 220 did not open up that long ago.
Correct.
And it's just they're not going to do anything to take away what has become a very popular restaurant.
Correct.
So enhance the orange and green versions, and you'll get more people going on there, especially in the green.
Yeah,
So another thing I think that needs to be done is I think they need to get more restaurants.
Which part?
Quick services in Hollywood Studios and
I agree.
And in Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, they've added, they've got some. The problem with Animal Kingdom is there aren't enough in certain areas.
Yeah.
Right. The Pizza Safari reopened.
It did.
I'll tell you what, that should have been rethemed.
Yes.
I get it. It's a quick pizza. They can just pop, plop, 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 plop fast. No. Come on. You could do so much better. You look at Satuli Cantina and what they did with that, and then your option outside of Pandora is Pizza Safari.
Yeah. Yep. No argument here.
I don't understand. I still don't understand that one. The other one I don't understand very well is they've made changes back at Yak and Yeti. They've really, I don't want to say they dumbed down the menu, but they've shortened the menu a lot. It feels like.
Yeah, I think part of it was COVID, and it hasn't come back to where it was.
So are they just not going to offer those options back again, though?
I don't know. I think what they need to do with Yak and Yeti is they need to differentiate a lot the menu that's there from the quick service that's next door.
That's what I'm talking about. It's a quick service restaurant. It's really been dumbed down. There's not a lot of options like they used to have. My wife's like, there's nothing here that I would want to eat. My son said the same thing. You have 3 options, 4 options.
You're right. It is. It's good. The options are good. Don't get me wrong, but you're right. It's too little. They need more there, and it's got to be different from what you find in the sit-down restaurant.
Right. Versus like Restaurantosaurus, that's expanded. They've really expanded their menu over there.
I like that place. That's a
and
good
it's the nice thing about that is
nobody goes there.
It's air conditioned. That's huge inside of there. And if you can score the Airstream bus, 2 points, baby. That is a cool area to just sit down and eat back in that Airstream bus.
Yeah, and there's always seats available there, whether they're inside or outside. There's always seats available there, and the food is good, really good.
Yeah, but we go there when you sit outside, you're sitting on the sun, so we need air conditioning.
Yeah.
And I really wish Satuli Cantina was a little bit larger.
Yeah, I do too.
On the inside.
Yeah.
I'd love to see them do an expansion over there too. I'm just not exactly sure.
Yeah, we constantly eat on the outside there because you can't find tables.
Right now you can't.
To seat enough of us.
Right. I've noticed that too.
Yeah.
Now, I do like Connections.
Oh, I love Connections.
The seating.
Again, it's small.
But it is too small.
It's small, and their menu is rather small.
The food is great. The seating in Connections, there aren't enough tables. You think there's enough tables in Connections?
You've got the whole area by the bathrooms. Then you got it going around the side. I think that seats quite a few people.
It does, but it's not enough. That place is always crowded.
It is. It's very popular because, again,
it's good.
If there's not a festival going on with kiosks, everybody needs somewhere quick service. It's bigger than the Electric Umbrella was.
Yeah, if you want to talk about a place that really needs to expand the seating, the Yorkshire Fish Company.
Oh, yes.
Different ships.
Is there any seating? Come
It's
on.
down by the water.
It's like
Yeah.
standing room only in that place.
Right. It's either right. It's standing room only or sit in the sun.
Right.
That needs to be expanded. But darling, you know what? There's a lot of sit-down restaurants in Epcot, especially in Future World. But where are the counter service ones?
Correct.
Why aren't they
You get a
reopening
quick bite.
Odyssey?
You've got Regal Eagle.
Odyssey is open. They do have it's for the festival foods.
Well, that's what I mean. It's for the festivals, but it's
Mhm.
really only open for the festivals.
So I think what we're going to have to do is wait and see. Where we're always complaining about the walls, we have to walk around. What is going to happen once that area is open?
You know what I would do with the Odyssey? I would almost make it like a, you know how, oh God, where am I thinking about? Oh God, what can't, Cosmic Rays, where you have different foods at different stands where you can get different things quickly, or like Sunshine Seasons, we have different choices at different.
I thought Cosmic Rays got rid of where each
Yeah, they did.
bank was
They did.
different. It's not like that anymore because it was
all
too
uniform now, yeah,
overwhelming
but
for 'em.
that's why I
Yeah.
said Sunshine Seasons. So you can go to have like 4 or
Sunshine
5
Seasons,
different
yeah.
stands.
Correct.
You
Yeah.
can get different things and then go sit down and eat your food.
Yes. Yes.
You know
I
what
do like Sunshine Seasons. I just forget to go and eat there.
I always think it's too healthy.
Right. Yeah, you're at Disney World. You
Right.
don't eat healthy, you know. It's
Well,
like,
no, the problem is some of the things that are it's what I mean by too healthy is like they're using this whole grain bread with all these grains, and I'm sorry, someone like me, I can't eat it because I'm allergic to half the stuff that's in the bread.
yeah.
So that's
a
why
problem.
I don't enjoy eating there very often. There's not a lot of choices for someone that's got a lot of food allergies, unless
Yeah.
that's changed recently.
So my problem is with Sunshine Sea. I love the food there. I have eaten there before, and I'm sure I will eat there again. But if I've got connections a little bit over the other way, and they've got the best burger in that park, I'm going for that burger. I don't care how healthy the food is at Sunshine Seasons.
They got to do something. We talked about they don't need too much going on over in the World Showcase, but they've got to figure out something to do with that Morocco pavilion.
Yeah, they do. I would make it a different Middle Eastern country and be done with it.
Can you do that without affecting too much of? I mean, they did beautiful work on those tiles. Can you do it by keeping the same type of tiles and not have it be Morocco?
Each Middle Eastern country has their own culture and different architectural design styles. It would have to change. You might be able.
Who are we going to put in there, though? What Middle Eastern country can we put in there
I can think
that
of
isn't too like controversial right now?
Oh, Egypt, not controversial. Dubai.
Right.
Dubai would want to like fill in the lake.
With sand.
Dubai would
They'd
want
fill
to
it
buy,
all in and they'd build like a roller coaster out there. On the
Dubai would want to buy Disney World and change it all.
Well, that's too, yeah.
Yeah, you know, there are some countries. It's easier said than done.
Right.
You know, would they sponsor it? Who knows? So that's
Yeah.
another thing Disney got away from, and I'm sure there were good reasons for it. Maybe they just couldn't do it anymore. People didn't want to pay anymore. But the sponsorships of the pavilions.
Yeah.
Well, we don't.
Yeah, they don't get the money anymore.
No, they don't.
So I'm looking. Again, where the refreshment outpost is, there's a huge. They use it for storage behind there. That's where they were storing their barges with the previous water show. There's a huge land. It's bigger than the land for Germany. That's right there.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it's about the same size plot. There's a lot of space right there. They could put something in, but I don't know what they would do.
That would be a good place to put another attraction in.
Yeah.
Well, it really would, but you're messing with the theme then. I guess what
Trains? Put a train.
German. Oh, give me another. I like my little train diorama. What? It's over by Germany. So what German attraction or what German fairy tale could we use to put in there?
Well, were the Grimm brothers German? I'm not sure of that. Because then you've got a whole slew of fairy tales. Let me look that up quickly.
Oh yeah.
The Brothers Grimm. Hey, Disneyfy a Grimm fairy tale. Otherwise, everyone's going to get eaten.
They are, yep, they are German. We're German. So let's see, what did they do? They had a slew of fairy tales. So that opens up the door for, a number of different fairy tales that they could put there.
Mm-hmm.
Again, if you can have Hercules come through and not kill his parents, I guess you could have the Grimm fairy tales come through and not eat Little Red Riding Hood.
Right.
Okay, Hansel and Gretel.
Right.
Rapunzel.
Little Red Riding Hood.
Rapunzel. Didn't Disney do a movie on Rapunzel?
Well, yeah. Well, you know,
they have her. They have her tower in Disney in Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, she doesn't need an attraction. She's got a bathroom.
We've got a Tangled bathroom by It's a Small World.
Tangled. Come on now.
But we could do a ride.
Yeah,
you wind up in a bathroom all tangled.
Yeah.
But they could pick any number of
Hansel and Gretel,
Brothers Grimm's fairy tales and do something there. Hansel and Gretel would be good. Or, maybe they can make a movie and make it a success. And then, hey, guess what? In the Germany pavilion, right behind it, we're building this attraction. We have 17 billion we're going to play with. Let's put some. I don't know what they're going to do with it. I do think it's going to go for a number of things, some of which we probably discussed tonight, some which we probably have no clue, what they're going to do with it. But they have to do something if they're bringing on 13,000 more employees. Now, how many of the 13,000, this is another thing to think of, do they need now because they're understaffed?
That is a great question.
Yeah.
We just got done saying we wanted to get back to having all the trams and everything. Well, why don't we have the trams? Because we don't have transportation.
Right.
Now, what I don't know is, do all those tram runners that are out there driving the trams, are they considered bus drivers? So they need to do 3 months of training. In which case, could they start training them 6 months ago?
Sorry. Bernie couldn't decide whether he wanted to come in or not, decided not to. Bernie's the dog.
Yes.
Mine is moving across the bed.
Yes.
Just don't fall off. Another thing, I know they made Creations. I think there was more in Mouse Gears than there was in Creations at times.
Yeah.
I think what they were trying to get, though, was a bigger variety. And I think they did get a bigger variety.
In Creations?
Yes.
I'm not a fan of Creation. I'm not. I don't dislike Creations. I miss Mouse Gears.
I miss the Mouse Gears. I almost felt like, again, we had that conversation. I felt like walking through Creations was walking through a lot of the other, like the world of Disney on a minute scale. I didn't feel like there was anything unique to Creations that you could find.
I agree with you. I think they kind of homogenized the store when they came up with Creations, rather than, Mouse Gears was unique in many ways.
The displays that are up above, and I miss what Mouse Gears was with all of that.
Yeah,
it was something that you wanted to see, to look around in.
Yep.
And this is it looks like a giant warehouse sale.
Yeah.
That's the way I felt about it.
Yeah. And just moving over to Main Street in Magic Kingdom for a second, I know and I understand the reason why you can walk through one store to the other store. I like the separation. And I'm probably in the very small minority of people that preferred the separation where you had to walk out of the store, go into a different one, and it was completely different than the one before, rather than walk
Well,
through. And I know it's easier to walk through, especially when it's 150 degrees out and the sun is baking down and it's humid as all hell. It's easier to walk through an air-conditioned space.
well, and you think about it, you could pick up something in the one section. Oh, the line's too long here. I'm going to keep walking this way.
Yep.
Go to the next section. Oh, this line's too long. I'll go to the next section.
Yep.
You just keep
Look, I get it.
The separation,
I understand it. I just don't like it.
Well, and the uniqueness of the magic shop, that's gone now.
It is gone.
Walking through things, even like the old movie theater where you could watch Steamboat Mickey.
Gone.
It's sometimes running in the background, but I think it's just random things playing in the background.
I can't remember the last time I saw that running.
It's just it's just like a 65-inch TV or something playing, basically. But you used to be able to go in there and sit down and watch Steamboat Willie.
But you can't sell things in a space where people are sitting down.
And it wasn't being used very much. People weren't going in there to see it.
No.
So.
Yeah, I think Disney's got its work cut out for itself. And by that, I mean, are they a success? Absolutely. Are they going to be a bigger success? Absolutely. Are they going to become a great success? Probably. And when I say, and I mean just from the great success where they are now to become even greater.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what's in store for us. There's a lot of things that they've got to muddle through. I think this whole fight they're having with a certain person in the state where I reside will eventually get settled one way or another. I think it's like somebody taking a pin and sticking Disney with it a couple of times. It's just like, how, or like a mosquito, you get a mosquito bite and you just like, until you actually swat it and kill the mosquito, they'll take care of the problem. They'll put a little calamine lotion on, it'll go away, and all will be good in the state of Florida. They'll work it out. I'm sure they'll work it out. I just don't think they're going to get there overnight, but I do think they will work it out. It's a shame it's come to this, but Disney's not, for those who think Disney's going to close up shop and move someplace else, no, they're investing in Florida.
Yeah, they are.
They don't have a choice.
Well, yeah, they do have a choice. It would be a very expensive choice.
It would be a very expensive choice.
And they're not going to do that. And that's why I do think they will work it out. I think it's in both parties' best interest to work things out.
Because the tourism would go down profusely.
Well, and again, Iger has said he's willing to meet with DeSantis.
Yes.
Right.
DeSantis wrote the book about how he took down Disney. He's not exactly taking down Disney as much as he wanted to. It's a blemish on his record right now with what's happening with some of the changes that Disney said, oh, you're going to do that? Sorry, we already took care of that. It's not going to happen. And I think people are going to hold some things against him, and that's why he just keeps coming at you. It's like that. You tell him no, and he just keeps coming. It keeps coming. It's like you got to just say when is when and just admit defeat. That doesn't make you a bad person, but that's what he keeps doing.
DeSantis is a very smart person. The problem I see with him is he's probably getting bad advice from, or he's not listening to advice from other people that could help him through this. Well, first of all, I want to say I don't think Disney's completely innocent in all this. By that I mean is they should be paying their fair share of taxes to the state. I don't think they should control their own taxes for however many years. I don't think that's fair to the residents of the state.
Mm-hmm.
Having said that, though, I think from day one, the governor here has allowed his emotions to rule his actions rather than logically do things. But I'm going to hedge on that a little bit. He's playing a political game here to help him secure the nomination to run as the Republican nominee for president. And he's trying to motivate the base with this cultural war that he's bringing against, and he's using Disney because if you take down the giant, you've won the culture war in his eyes. They're not going to take down the giant.
But the Republicans, that's not the Republican way to go. That's the thing.
What is the Republican way to go anymore?
They're kind of like more hands off, not strangulation. And that's big businesses are like, okay, if he's going after Disney now, does that mean he's going after us next?
All right,
if you say you don't agree with him, he's going
Kurt,
after
hold on, Kurt. I don't mean to interrupt you. Are you talking about the Republican Party as it is constituted now or the one prior to Trump?
Yes, just in general.
Yes,
most
what?
of these when you look at the Republican Party right now, especially, you look at all the tax reductions and everything that they do for big businesses versus here's him going after the big company just because he didn't agree with them. Yeah. So all these other big company nows are going to be like, wait a minute, we want this guy in power, or is he just going to shut us down?
Yeah.
You know, what's going to happen here?
Yeah.
So the only one that Trump really went after was social media because they wanted to let him tell lies. You know, you got to be able to tell the truth and not spread things that aren't true, as Fox News just found out. But we're getting off task there. Again, is Disney going into her? No. Do they need to sit down and stop this spat? Yes, they really do. And things have already morphed. I mean, originally it's like, we're taking everything over. And as soon as they found out, hey, you can't take everything over because Disney's $1 billion in debt that's got to be paid off. And the people around here don't want to have to pay that. Okay, no. We're going to do it this way instead. So he's had to backtrack a lot of things. He's just going to have to learn to say when is when. And try to say
seeing how he's reacted to everything else here. And I hate the fact that we're getting into this on the show. I really didn't want to, but since we're already there, I think he has to find a way out. And I think both sides have to find a way out where they can both say they've won.
Right.
Whether they really did or not is another story. But I think
I'm looking at this as someone from the outside. I don't even live in the state. And I know you said there's a lot of people that love him down here in Florida. But I don't know how people around me are thinking about this because a lot of people, there's going to be some things that come out with the way he did some things in Florida. They didn't go over well.
No.
You know, when he opened everything up and basically made it so mask mandates were not allowed, it's like you're not letting the people make any choices. You're like forcing them not to be able to do it. It's kind of some of the things he was forcing on people. So, you know, we're not going to order the shots so your kids can't get the COVID shot. Let the people make the choice.
Well, he didn't do that. I don't know where you heard that. He didn't do that. You know, regardless of what he said, shots were always available for anyone who wanted them. And I'm not trying to defend him because I do not like his leadership.
It was the ordering for the children shots, the children dosage.
Okay.
They said the people didn't want them. And then they weren't ordered as quickly as they were supposed to be, from what I understood.
Okay.
So,
well, I'm not going to argue with you because I don't know for sure, so I can't argue something I'm not.
Yes, the adult shots were always available.
Yeah. Okay.
Those were always available.
You know, do I like him as a leader? No. Do I think he's a tyrant? Yes.
The problem was he better than what he was running against, which was the previous Republican leader that failed miserably? Again, you're falling back into he was the better of two evils.
Right. I think the problem with our governor here is Trump. I think because he's trying to emulate Trump to an extent, not completely, just to an extent because he wants Trump's voters to vote for him. He is putting that above what's in the best interest of the majority of the people that live in this state.
By the way, I did not read the article, but apparently on Trump's social media, he sided with Disney.
Yeah.
Again, anything against DeSantis right now because he wants to go. He wants your vote, not for you to vote for.
All right, Kurt. From this point forward, we're not allowed to mention the T word.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah. I know it makes us upset that he's agreeing with
Oh
us.
God, I just, oh my God, I wish he would go in one of those Chinese balloons and disappear.
Any balloon, it doesn't have to be Chinese.
Right, any balloon. The Goodyear blimp, any balloon, just disappear. Yeah,
that's okay. We can move on. We can move back to Disney, or we can call it a night. Either way, all works well for me.
Yeah. For those listening, you know, I know people have different views and different sides. This will, you know, no matter what side you lie on or what you think, this whole situation here in Florida is going to get settled. It's probably not going to affect you as a tourist coming here or as a fan going to the parks. You know, it's too bad that this came out in the public and the backfighting in and out is going through the media. I wish it wasn't. I wish the two sides could get together behind closed doors and just figure it out.
Just let it go away. I honestly thought everything was just going to go away, but he kept bringing it back.
Well, speaking of going away, let's get back to the park.
Let's go away.
$17 billion is a lot of money, but as we see, it's not all as much as we think it is. Yeah, and think $17 billion today, 5 years from now, is not going to be worth the same if the inflation keeps going the way it is.
Right.
I do think Disney's going to use it for a number of things we discussed: expanding the parks, filling in gaps, transportation, resorts, DVC, and a bunch of other things that we haven't even discussed. I think the employees are going to have to fill roles in expanded parks, in new or expanded resorts, and taking care of the grounds. And doing things that Disney has gotten away from since COVID because they just don't have the staff.
17 DVC resorts. But every time they make a DVC resort, you know how much money they're making off of those resorts? At how much is it now? $200 and some odd dollars a point?
Well, the Disneyland ones, which I did not mention earlier, are starting at 34,000, I think 100, going up to 60,100. And basically you're only getting like, I think it's roughly right now, they're saying they're going to expire in 2062. I think it was, I read.
It's 42 years. It's always been 42 years. So go
it
42
was 39.
years. 39 years?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Mine was supposed to be 50.
And I thought mine was 42 years. I don't know why that number sticks in my head.
Yeah. It depends on when you bought too.
Could be. Bought in 2007.
Yeah. I know my friends were getting close to expire, but they added them back in.
Yeah, they allowed you to buy, like Old Key West, when Old Key West came out, you're allowed to, because it went up to like 2052 or something like that.
Yes.
And you were allowed to, for X amount of dollars, you could tack on that amount to make it all the way up to the 2052.
Kurt, could number 42 be sticking on your mind because that was Jackie Robinson's number?
It might be, you know, one of the greatest baseball players of all time. What can I say?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's interesting. I talked about the campground, these little cabins that they're building. It's a 1-bedroom trailer is what it really is. It's a 1-bedroom trailer designed to look like it's a nice little log cabin. It's got a nice little view out onto a patio and stuff, but it's not very big. I mean, it's a 1-bedroom. So it's very niche. So I wonder what they're going to charge for those.
Do you think they're going to do with the cabins what they did with the tree houses?
What do you mean? So the tree houses were added on the Saratoga Springs.
That's right, and DVC. But
Right.
I'm talking about pricing and maybe not style wise, but maybe for the pricing they'll keep it similar to those.
I don't think people are going to want to pay the points for a 1-bedroom. It's not very big. It's just not. It's not very big. They're not going to want to pay the price of that.
But we don't know how
like for a treehouse.
we don't know how they're going to change it when they demolish what's there and put something new in.
They have the renderings of what they look like.
Oh, they do. Oh, that's right. You did
Yeah,
mention
they
that.
have the renderings with it. It literally, they are removing the ones right now look like a log cabin.
Mhm.
The newer
Right.
versions of it, they actually don't even look like a log cabin. They have siding on it. It looks like a lean-to kind of. Here, hang on here. If I can get this to work, and I
You know what
turn
I
it
find
around and I
interesting,
show
though?
you, that's what it's going to look
So for
like.
those of you who are watching this on YouTube, Kurt has a picture of it. Yeah, okay.
Wow. Okay.
Hey, there's Darlene. Hi, Darlene.
There's
Hi,
a-
Hi, Stuart.
Um,
So it doesn't look like an actual log cabin like they have there now.
No.
But you can see the size of it. It's not very big. It's like the size of a room in a contemporary. It's
You know
just
what I
not
don't
very
understand?
big.
You know what I don't understand? There is a great need for family-sized spaces at Walt Disney World, non-DVC family-sized spaces. They could have taken the opportunity to turn those into 2-bedroom log cabins or whatever you want to do, or trailer.
I just showed these to my friend because they were looking for something. They got 5 people in their family.
Yeah,
I
they
go,
can't
look,
do it.
it's got bunk beds, a queen size bed, a twin size bed, and something. It sleeps 6.
Yeah.
It was perfect for them. I'm like, this is awesome. And it was literally like $459 or something like that. It was affordable. It was like it was listed in the moderate resorts, and they
That I
were
remember.
popular because they weren't even that 25% off sale that's going on right now. They weren't available with that anymore. They sold
Yeah.
out all of those. You could only get them at the regular price still. Why are you getting rid of them?
Mhm.
So that's why I said I don't know if they're all going away or
Yeah.
how exactly they're doing this. We knew
Someone
they were
figured
doing
out
something over there, but
someone figured out a way to make more money off of what they have.
right. We talked about that, unfortunately.
Yep. Anyway, I think we're going to wrap this show up.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I'm sorry if we dove into politics and
Oh,
into
man,
the show a little bit. It does make people feel uncomfortable. It made me feel uncomfortable, and I'm sure it did you guys too. We're Disney fans. We're going to stand behind Disney most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
If they do something that we don't like, we let them know in a nice way. But
Junior Pro is $35. But hey, other than that, we're still going.
Yeah, we're still going. It's our escape.
It is.
Disney's our escape from reality.
It is.
It's
That's why we moved down here.
Yeah. Well, I moved down here for the pre-COVID Disney World, but we're getting back to where it was. I just wish the crowd would go away.
One for the warm weather too, away from the 7 feet of snow.
Yeah. The parks continue to be more crowded than they have been. I think we're seeing a little bit of a reduction from last year at the same time. Now that spring break and Easter is over, but they're still pretty crowded. I don't know about Magic Kingdom. I was in Epcot the other day with Darlene, and there were people there, but it was comfortable walking around. We didn't look to see what times the attractions were. We weren't there for that. We went to see Evolution. Oh my God, Evolution Motown was great.
They were
great
fantastic. Oh my gosh. They were so good. On point with all their dance moves. Their singing was great. Yeah,
if anybody has a chance to see Evolution Motown, I don't know where they travel to, where they play, go for it.
They said to follow them on Instagram.
Yep. Yeah, so it's Evolution Motown on Instagram. They have videos on YouTube. They're wonderful. Take a look at them there.
My hope, you're talking about the crowds. Again, we talked about it several times. That 50th anniversary gave people the time that, hey, we haven't traveled in 3 years. Let's get out.
Yeah.
And that's what they were doing for a couple of years. And that's why I think it got as crazy as it did when it did.
It was
My
stimulus
hopes is it starts
vacation
to
money.
settle down a little bit.
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah.
well, now we're in the hundreds. So,
Well, that doesn't mean as much. Honestly,
Yeah.
100 years of magic doesn't mean as much as specifically to that one park.
Correct.
right.
Correct.
They can still go to Disneyland for the 100 years of magic.
Yep. All right. We're out of here.
Sounds good.
We'll be back next week. We're still trying to figure out what we're doing with the news show and the regular show, doing it together. The problem is a lot of us have been missing week to week, so we all can't sit down to discuss how we want to best do this going forward. I've got a couple of ideas, which I will discuss with you guys when we get off the show. So we'll see. We'll see. We're still trying to figure it out. But recording on one night, I mentioned before, it's for selfish reasons. I have more time to go to the parks at night and not take 2 nights out of the week away from me from going to the parks. But and we're busy too, so we'll figure it out, and we'll do what's best for not just us, but for you guys too out there that listen and watch us. If you can, it'll help us find more Disney fans out there by give us a thumbs up, a thumbs down, whatever you like, but just please subscribe and share the show.
Please
we're
share.
on iTunes, we're on iHeartRadio, we're here on YouTube as well. So until next time, everybody, be safe. Bye-bye.
Good night, everybody.
Have a magical night. Stay safe. And please pack sunscreen.
Oh, did we go over the time limit?
No, it's only 1:56.
All right, what's going on?
Okay.
Oh,
Please hold.
Well, I guess we'll just have to say good night.
Yeah. All right. Good night, guys.